This is John Michael Grogan with Advancing Your World. Today I want to share some thoughts about the voice that takes away.
Dr. John Michael Grogan is a worldwide best-selling author and speaker. In this podcast, Advancing Your World, Dr. John Michael will help you position yourself for success by achieving greater purpose, significance, and exceptionalism. Now, here's Dr. John Michael Grogan.
There is a voice that comes out of the darkness. We haven't returned to the law of the gun. Not yet, anyway. Most good, law-abiding citizens do not turn to the gun to assassinate those they do not like. No, because of the penalties for killing, we rather prefer to maim. This convenient weapon is perfectly legal, causing death in slow doses. This voice has no respect for fairness or justice. It breaks hearts and ruins lives. It is cunning, vindictive, and malicious, and gathers speed and strength with age. The more it is quoted, the more this voice is believed. It flourishes everywhere. In the hallowed halls of Congress, on university campuses, the golf course, in our military, even in the sanctity of churches. Its victims are helpless. It is impossible for them to protect themselves against this voice, for it has no face. To track it down is impossible. The harder one tries, the more elusive it becomes. This crippler is no one's friend. It is indiscriminate, and once it stains or tarnishes its victim, the victim is never quite the same again. This voice topples governments, splits churches, wrecks marriages. It ruins careers, causes sleepless nights. It spawns hypertension and indigestion. It gives rise to suspicion and generates grief. It makes the innocent cry. Even its name hisses. Who is this universal destroyer? It is gossip. Office gossip, shop gossip, church gossip, party gossip. It makes headlines and heartaches. Before we repeat a story, let us ask ourselves, is it true? Is it fair? Is it even necessary? If not, let us stand silent. Gossip, columnist George Will said, is the democratic voyeurism of the masses. Rick Warren, in his classic book, The Purpose-Driven Life, says, listening to gossip is like receiving stolen property. It is as true today as it has been throughout all of history. Small minds talk about people. Average minds talk about events. Big minds talk about ideas. There are things we should not let our eyes behold, and things our ears should not take in. Why? Because we become what we think about. Now let me say that again. We become what we think about. If we let our eyes be captivated by things we should not see, and our ears tickled by the things we have no business hearing, then this wonderful mind of ours will be a vacuous wasteland. We're all familiar with the computer term GIGO, G-I-G-O, garbage in, garbage out. We cannot give away what we do not possess. Our mind comes as standard equipment, a treasure almost incomprehensible to grasp. Yet many people take this treasure for granted and waste it on trivial things. For those who wish to avoid going through life dumb as a hammer, we must complete a trip that is, on average, 16 inches in length. This trip travels from the mind to the heart. This is critical, for what's in the heart of man makes a return trip of 10 inches on average to the mouth. There is no way we can closet what's in our heart. The doors will eventually come flying off, exposing who we really are, the pretender. Those who are disingenuous live a lie that will wear them down. If we gossip, we hate, and hatred is like taking poison and wishing our enemy would die. It compromises our very soul. Genuineness allows a freedom that liberates. Abraham Lincoln said, "If you don't lie, you don't need a good memory." And a French proverb puts it like this: "A clear conscience is the softest pillow." Why do so many people live such a mundane, trivial, unproductive life? I believe it's because they have no end game. They get up every morning, trudge off to work or jail, as they might describe it, work all day at a job they hate, getting by, as Aldous Huxley, author of Brave New World, put it, with the least amount of discredit. At the end of the day, they are paroled home, switching jails, perhaps. Incidentally, Huxley has another quote I like. "Experience is not what happens to a man. It is what a man does with what happens to him." Here's the summum bonum, the sum of it all. If the horse you are riding to your destiny is dead, dismount. So many people keep riding the nag into the ground. This forlorn steed will eventually drop from underneath you. By then, it may be too late in the game to find a new ride. We should never let our doubts or fears keep us from a new beginning. Ella Wheeler Wilcox, American author and poet, said, "There is no satisfaction that can compare with looking back across the years and finding you've grown in self-control, judgment, generosity, and unselfishness." She is also credited with the quote many of us are familiar with, "Laugh, and the world laughs with you. Weep, and you weep alone." The second reason why so many people lead such humdrum lives is that they fail to realize there are two levels of life. We not only live in the flesh, but in the spirit as well. Many people are fit physically, but pay little, if any, attention to the spiritual. There are 5 critical points to a holistic life. If we have imbalance, physically, intellectually, financially, socially, or spiritually, it can negatively affect our overall being. Again, to quote Huxley, he compared living life to playing a game of chess with an invisible opponent who is always fair and just, but who never overlooks a mistake. If we play ill, he said, we are checkmated, without haste, but without remorse. And to those who play well, they are rewarded with the overflowing generosity with which the strong delight in strength. Non illegitimus carborundum. Until next time, this is John Michael Grogan saying, be strong, be bold, be courageous.
Sign up for exclusive access to Dr. Grogan's newsletter, and as an added bonus, you'll receive access to the growth chart that Dr. Grogan talks about in the podcast Majoring in the Majors. Visit johnmgrogan.com and sign up today. That's johnmgrogan.com. And don't forget, subscribe to Advancing Your World on your favorite podcast app.